It is Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile. That is not my dude, Trevor Plouffe. That is my dude, Dad Swilly. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well, as we officially welcome you to baseball. I think this is your maiden voyage, is it not?
So I did an episode with Trevor Plouffe last season, but this is my maiden voyage with you, Chris Rose.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, sorry. I mean, that was like the cream of the crop when you work with Plouffe.
Right.
You know, he's kind of dreamy. He's got everything. He's smart. He's kind of funny. He looks okay on camera. Like, that's the top. I'm sorry to downgrade here.
Absolutely not. You know, I'm just going to take my 1 second to say that 14-year-old Swilly is very excited to be doing this right now. So Trevor Plouffe is cool. He's, former big leaguer, whatever, but he's no Chris Rose. So
that's very sweet. That's
Have
too
to.
sweet.
Well,
I think we can end the show on that note. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll see you Thursday. No. We got a lot to get to. And
yes.
I don't know if you've been following this narrative that I put on the show, that I said recently I'm sick of the Mets. Like, I can't talk about them anymore until they do something great or do something horrific.
Right.
But I'm actually going to start the show with them because they deserve a tip of the cap, because I think something positive happened.
Pulled down, a base hit for Ewing, his first major league hit. It'll roll to the wall. Let's watch it run. Beatty goes to third. He's going to be waved around. Ewing's going to go all the way to third as Beatty scores on A.J. Ewing's first big league hit, an RBI triple, and it's 7-2 New York.
It's indescribable. It beat every expectation I had, growing up and dreaming of it, and it was the best day of my life.
Love.
I don't know if that warms your heart the way it does mine, but to hear somebody say that's the best day of my life and we were all there to watch it is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, first of all, what a day that he had. The triple is awesome, of course, but he walked 3 times too, had a couple ribbies, and I mean, I would probably also say that would be the best day ever if that were me. So I love it. I love everything about this. My heart is very warm and fuzzy right now.
Yeah, and he got to third base in like 11.64 seconds or whatever it was. So he provides a different element than the Mets mostly have. He stole 17 bags in the minor leagues this year. So good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I broke my own rule about not talking about them, but I thought it deserved it.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good way to break the streak of not talking about the Mets. I also will say I loved how he said that, he's been playing this game since he was 3 years old. I think a lot of us, including myself, forget that we watch a kid's game 162 games a year. And I love that was like his first thought was like, I've been playing since I was 3 years old and this is just another game. I don't know. I love it. We forget it's a kid's game. I don't know.
Exactly. And by the way, I wish we could show everybody's debut in which they do something good and have a moment. And I know that there's ones we've missed this year, but we try and hit as many of them as possible. It was neat to see his dad, who I believe is a doctor, get in for the game. And they interviewed him. Steve Gelb's interviewing him during the game. It was cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Congrats to them. Yeah. Now back to the teams that actually matter.
Oh!
Paul Skenes. Absolutely unbelievable. Back at it again. Second time this year. Dude took a no-no into the 7th.
Out to Cruz again. Closing fast, and it's down. And the Rockies, behind Mickey Moniak, will have their first hit tonight. Oh, he gave it everything he had. No hit bid ends in the 7th for Skenes.
Back in 2011, being with Ver, every time he took the mound, you were shocked when he gave up a hit. And, Paul is on that type of run right now, just the way that he's throwing the ball, the commanding it in the zone, too, and then be able to mix it up with all of his pitches. It's impressive to watch.
Hell yes, it is. So that's Don Kelly. I don't know if you heard the first part of his soundbite, but he was teammates with Justin Verlander in 2011, where he said, I felt like every time he was going out there, it was like shocking that he'd give up a hit. Does it feel a little bit like we are watching a generational talent? Can we say that now, 2+ years into a career?
Yeah, I think so. Rosie, do you think that anyone doesn't think that he's a once in a lifetime or once in a generation talent?
Well, the question is the time. How much time do you have to give somebody before you start saying that? Because I know that we're in the immediacy business, and I'm a slave to that sometimes as well. I do believe that we are. I absolutely do, and I know that there are people that are going to compare him to different big time right handers over the years. Whether you're in the late '60s and '70s with a Nolan Ryan, or a decade later with Roger Clemens, guys like that, but he is just big. He is nasty. He throws so many pitches for strikes that, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of his career, we're going to say that we were fortunate to be alive during this era.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think the time thing I totally get. It's been a little over 2 years now, but the fact for me that he's doing this at the age that he is, I think is what is so impressive and what makes him a once in a generation talent to me. And yeah, he has all of the nasty pitches and obviously he locates very well. I'm like looking at all of these strikeout pitches and, Henry's glove just doesn't move. Like he just locates the ball so well, but he does all of the little things so well too. Second and third time through the lineup, he's still just mowing guys down. Right now he has a 156 batting average against. Crazy. We'll see if that sustains. If it somehow does sustain, that would be the best ever. Hasn't allowed a walk in a little over 35 innings.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's absolutely bonkers. So yeah, I would say this definitely once in a generation talent, and he's still a baby in terms of his career. So
Yeah, I mean, and we're going to continue to have the narrative about, well, how long is he going to be a Pirate and all this sort of stuff. Right now, put all that on the back burner if you're a fan. Just go see him at home as much as you can. And I'm never critical of fans when they don't show up, because I don't know your financial situation. I don't know what your daily needs are. So it's horrific for me to say on a Tuesday night, hey, why aren't they packing the park in Pittsburgh? They're over 500. They're playing well. They've got a great team, and they've got the best pitcher on the mound. Why don't you go out there? That's not fair for me to say. But I would say that if you have the means and the time and you're not doing anything on a day or a night that Paul Skenes is pitching, get your ass down to the stadium.
yeah.
Because you don't know how long this will last, and it's freaking awesome to see.
The fact that he has taken a no-hitter into the 7th inning twice already this year, and it's the middle of May, is absolutely nuts. You just never know what you're going to get when you watch him pitch. So I agree. If you have the opportunity and the means to do it, yeah, you should absolutely be getting to the ballpark and watching him pitch.
Yeah, two other things. I was pissed that he didn't get to go out for the 9th, and then I heard both Don Kelly and Paul Skenes say, Skenes said, yeah, my first pitch of the 7th or 8th or whatever it was 93. And I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't even be out here right now. Fair. But he did get through 8. I want to see him get that complete game shutout at some point. He's gotten close. He just hasn't finished the deal. The other thing was, I was watching this thing on the flight home last night, and I was like, man, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Right.
Then he hits a batter, back foot. I was like, God damn it.
That's what happens. As soon as you think about it, that's when it doesn't happen anymore. You can't think about it.
No, don't give me that. You don't believe in the announcer's jinx too, do you? You're not one of those baseball fans, are you?
I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't at least a little suspicious.
Willie, you've got to know better than that. That shit doesn't. It has zero effect. If that's how we're going to lead our lives now, we can.
But if it's not a real thing, then why do people call it an announcer's jinx? It's happened enough times where people, you know what I'm saying?
Because we're not creative enough to come up with anything else.
That's fair.
What would you call? I don't know what we would call it. You can leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Also, for people, and this is going to be probably skewed to people a little bit older in terms of who does Paul Skenes remind you of? I mean, I think he's really on his own, because I've seen guys come up that cannot find the strike zone. And the fact that this guy his accuracy is virtually unmatched in this game.
Insane.
It's really, really great. So I don't know. End of the line. I don't know how long he wants to pitch, or his health is going to permit him to pitch. But man, if it's 15 years or whatever, sign me up.
I'm saying, I completely agree. And one thing that I do want to highlight really quick too, in the Don Kelly interview, I love that he talked about how you wouldn't be able to tell if Paul Skenes had a bad outing or not.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that, I continue to hear in like interviews or when I've talked to players and stuff is how important it is to stay even keeled in this game. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And for him to already have that mentality in his game, again, at the age that he is, he's still a baby, to be able to just stay even keeled regardless of what the circumstances are, I think is very impressive. And that just like mentally gives you such an edge in baseball. So I love that you mentioned that. I thought that was cool.
He's going to turn, that's a great point. He's going to turn 24 at the end of this month.
I mean,
if he doesn't win the Cy Young for some silly reason, he's going to finish, top 5. I mean, for God's sakes, I don't know how that happens that he doesn't finish like top 2 or 3. I don't know, unless he gets hurt. I don't want to put that in the universe, but there we go. He finished 3rd in the Cy Young his rookie year. Of course, won it last year.
Right.
Buckle up, everybody. We're in for something special. And
Paul
by the
Skenes.
way, Pirates and Ben Cherington, and you know this, you did a good job this offseason actually putting bona fide major leaguers in that lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Go get help if you need to somewhere. Bullpen, lineup if it needs it. Let's go. This could be a fun year. It'll be nice that the fans in Pittsburgh will only be talking about the Steelers at the end of July. It'll be nice to be talking about this team. So
I agree. They deserve it. Go get some help. Why not?
Today's episode of Baseball Today is sponsored by Lids. Lids is actually turning back the clock this May with the new era retro classic 5950s. Some throwback logos. They just hit different. Now they got the old school look with a modern fit. The MLB Retro Classic Collection from New Era and Lids features all 30 teams. There's classics like the Baby Blue Braves A. I love that. The Randy Johnson era Diamondbacks. And yes, Swilly's California Angels A with the halo. See, something good can come out of the Angels season. I also have got my then Indians logo with the kind of block C back in the day. I love this as a kid. So check out the new era MLB Retro Classic Collection. It's available now at your local Lid store. Get 15% off your next in-store headwear or apparel purchase by texting today to 29017. That is the word today to 29017. You're going to love the look and love the feel. All right.
I see.
San Francisco Giants.
Mm-hmm. You just
they had to do this.
You just had to get a little jab in there, by the way, Anaheim Angels.
Well, I was trying to build you up a little bit and say there's something good. I'm not going to bring up the fact that my Guardians take the first 2 or 3 from me in this series.
All right, Giants baseball. Let's do it.
Okay, yeah, let's get to it. It is time right now for Pack in the Park, where we look at players and storylines that are getting fans into the stadium. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. And even though the Giants were on the road, they certainly felt right at home in L.A.
And it's a high drive. Left field. It is out of here.
Yeah, it is out of here. Eric Haas with 2 homers off of Yamamoto. They're 8 and 9 hitters because Harrison Bader also went deep, combined for 3 homers. They end up improving to 4-1 against the Dodgers. Is this a type of series that can turn a season around for them?
I mean, it's certainly a good start. I mean, the funny thing about baseball is that pretty much, I don't know, I feel like anything can really spark a nice little run. I don't know. Winning a series is obviously a great start when you do it against the reigning back-to-back champs. Even though they haven't been playing great baseball, I certainly think that helps. Now, I think they kind of have a lot of things that still have to go their way in order to make a serious run, but this certainly helps.
Yeah, look, we talked about this a bunch over the first 6 weeks, that Devers has seemingly turned the corner. Chapman did not even play last night, right? They get Bryce Eldridge in there. Yep. They move Schmidt over to third. He's been their most consistent hitter. Right. Willy Adames, they're not going to move off Willy Adames at short. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen.
Can't.
And Chapman I would be shocked if he's not back in there tonight. I mean, maybe you give him one more day. I don't know. But if those players aren't providing great at-bats and production, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So all good. I mean, this is nice for them. They've taken 4 or 5 from the Dodgers. They love this. They've played exceptionally well. I'm going to go down there today. I'm talking to their manager, Tony Vitello, for next week's edition of Dugout Discussions. So I'm excited about that. And I mean, are they going to get back in the wild card chase? I don't know, Swill?
I don't know. The National League is obviously the more superior league at this moment in time. They, like I said, they have a lot of work to do on both sides of the ball if they really want to make like a good push. Like you mentioned, Willie Adames has not been great, and like you said, you can't move off of him. You can't do that. That's just not going to happen. Bader's back now. He went deep last night, which is good. So maybe that kind of helps. But just kind of all around, they're not walking at all.
No.
They have 87 walks this year, which is good for last place, and the next best is about 30 walks ahead of them, Dalton Snakes. So they got to walk more, and the starting pitching hasn't been great. Obviously, Logan Webb just went on the IL. He hasn't really had that great of a start to the year either, but I think there's too many things, which, I mean, you never know. Baseball's a funny sport, but there's a lot of things that have to go right for them to make a serious push to get back to maybe being in a playoff conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I know this is going to come as a shock, but if your most highly paid players do not produce,
Right.
you're probably not going to have a great year. Thank you.
Right. Very good.
That's what being
Baseball.
around the game for 3 decades leads you to.
That's right.
I feel awesome about that. Well, speaking of turning things around, all it took was a Hollywood A-lister showing up to help out baseball's biggest star.
I say we. It's me.
There's the drive off of the bat of
Yes.
Ohtani, headed for the wall in the seats.
There we go.
All we had to do was bring Ice Cube in the booth, and Ohtani figures it out. It's that simple. Huh?
Amazing. You couldn't have scripted it better.
Yay! West Side! Way, Cube. Way to do your thing. At first, I was like, because it was Ice Cube bobblehead night. Did you see them giving away the bobblehead of him driving in the car?
I did. Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's sick. They do. Yeah. They do great bobbleheads over there.
They do. More importantly for Ohtani, his first homer since April 26th.
Yeah.
He had a horrific month of May. His power stroke just hasn't been there at all. And did you see him rounding the bases? Like, I think you could see how important this was. It was like a sense of relief. He looked up to the heavens the whole bit.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm just like not surprised. Shohei is like so dramatic in like the funniest way. He's so like emotive. Is that a word? I don't know. But this is just he's so funny. Like, I don't know. The thing with Shohei specifically, especially right now, the last 2 years with the Dodgers, he started off piping hot. I think both times around this time of year, he was batting over 300. OPS is close to 1,000. But if you look back at the years prior, this is kind of a typical start to a season for Shohei. He doesn't really get super warm until the weather gets warmer. So I don't really think we have to worry too much about him. It's Shohei Ohtani. I think he's going to be fine.
Well, so the Giants will not have to deal with him
right
hitting-wise the next 2 days. He's pitching today, and we've seen it a couple of times this year where Dave Roberts has elected to start somebody else, namely Dalton Rushing, to get him at bats there, and to have Ohtani just focus on his pitching. That part has worked out great. He's been as good as any starting pitcher in baseball this year. But then Dave Roberts also said he is not going to hit on Thursday's series finale against the Giants either. And he talked about the pros and cons in Tuesday's pregame discussion.
Taking the hitting part off his plate, letting his body recover a little bit as far as being a two-way player for a couple days, playing more the longer view, potentially giving him a reset on the offensive side. The cons is just not being able to write his name in the lineup at the top of the order.
Yeah, that would be a con, Skip.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. That was like my analysis earlier, that if your most highly paid players are not going to produce, you're not going to be a great team.
Right.
So do you think we have to adjust the way we look at Shohei? Like, are we seeing some cracks here a little bit in his game because we expect so much in him to be able to pull this double duty off as well as he did the back half of last year? Do we have to kind of adjust our eyes?
You know what? I think we might have to a little bit, which I'm a little, I don't know, I'm like hesitant to say it because Shohei like a lot of Major League Baseball players, hates taking days off. I when he was an Angel, he was very adamant about never wanting to take days off. But, you take a look at his career and where he's at. We're at year 9 of Shohei in the league. He's going to be 32 soon. And, he takes care of himself better than anybody else in the league does. But, if they're on the same page about it and like Shohei's cool with it, I think this might be what we have to see in order for him to play in the league for as long as he possibly can.
That's hard to take.
I
I think it's hard for baseball fans to take because we are so lucky to be able to get to see this shooting star.
Right.
And I remember when he first started doing this, the number of people who said, my God, think of how many doors this is going to open in terms of if he is successful, how many teams are going to be willing to let guys who both hit and pitched in college try it at the next level. I was like, what's the matter with you people? Are you stupid? This is it.
Yeah.
This is the one thing. We used to think Madison Bumgarner was something special because he could hit the ball out of the yard occasionally. We're like, yeah, let's let him pinch hit. Let's do that. And now we just became used to the fact that dude can go throw 97 and throw 5 or 6 different pitches on the mound, then hustle in, grab his bat, and go deep. Just like he did against the Reds in the playoffs last year. Right. We're like, cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
What do you want to do for your next trick? And so I don't think we've tried to tell people, Plouffe and I have tried to tell people, like, don't get Ohtani fatigue because you don't know how long this is going to last. And I am concerned that it's not the beginning of the end, but I think it's the beginning of an adjustment period for everybody involved.
Yeah. Without a doubt. I completely agree. He's such an anomaly. And like you said, it's so easy for us to get used to him just doing this whole two-way player thing and doing it at the level that he has done it at for the last however many years. But again, if you want to see Shohei playing until he's however old, I think this is something that we have to get used to. I just think we don't have a choice. And like I said, he's going to be 32, I think, in July. And I'm not saying that that's ancient by any stretch, but
yeah, careful, kid.
I got you. Yeah, it's getting to a point where I think we might have to get used to it a little bit.
So Shohei's OPS, it went up last night, but it's still not even 800. It's 796. Mm-hmm. And we always discuss whether it's in the offseason or the beginning of the season, like what has to happen with Shohei, short of an injury, to where he's not the National League MVP, right? Can he be considered with what he has done on the mound?
Right.
And he's been good enough. He hasn't been Shohei-esque, but still like a 796 OPS with 7 homers to this point, almost a 1 WAR just as a DH. Is that good enough to be the National League MVP when you combine those things?
I mean, I think it's so difficult to say no, in my opinion. I think if his hitting stats did stay where they are now, which I don't think they will, like I said, I think give it a month and he's going to be fine. But it's certainly hard. It's certainly hard because he's pitching like a potential Cy Young winner right now.
Right.
We were talking about Paul Skenes earlier. Shohei has kind of been in that conversation too. So it's tough. I feel like I've personally, Rosie, if I'm being honest with you, if I say something other than yes, he could still be the MVP, I think people are going to be very upset with me. But I don't know. I think.
So what you're humming and hawing, I'm going to nickname you Plouffe if you don't give me an answer.
If everything stays the way that it stays, I think it is a more difficult conversation whether or not he for sure gets the MVP or not.
Oh, you don't want to give me an answer.
I don't want to give you an answer. I think I don't know. I think that this conversation in the middle of May is like kind of tough anyways, because anything can happen.
Of course it is. But that's the fun part of it, is that if you project and you say, well, okay, if it doesn't get much better than, let's say, 805 OPS, and if it's 24 home runs instead of 54 home runs, But if he's great on the mound and he's a top 2 or 3 Cy Young winner,
Right.
like who would be the other candidates right now? It'd be Kyle Schwarber. It'd be Matt Olson.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm missing anybody on the Cubs or the Cardinals. I mean, Jordan Walker's had a phenomenal year. Certainly nobody in the everyday lineup for the Padres would. So, I mean, you could throw some suggestions in there in the comments, and I wish you would.
Please.
But I think that it's unfair to say that those guys are having such like you would never take Kyle Schwarber ahead of what Shohei Ohtani brings right now.
Well,
You
of
wouldn't even
course.
take Matt Olson, who plays defense every day and plays it exceptionally well at first base. But you wouldn't take him over Shohei Ohtani because he can't throw 97.
Right.
So
Yeah.
where do we draw the line? I mean, we're getting closer to that line, but I would say no. I still think it's not good enough to take it away from him.
Yeah, I do think I agree. I mean, again, if the stats hold where they are now, which again, I don't think that that'll be the case. If they hold, I think it is a little bit more of a conversation.
It will be a fun one.
It'll be a fun one for sure, but
Yep.
they're not. It's Shohei Ohtani. He's going to have a 900 OPS at the very least, and he will win the National League MVP
Well,
for
look,
the 4th time in a row.
everybody has a voice around here. That's what we love about our community. Make yours heard there in the comments and let us know where you sit on the whole Shohei thing. I know we're not even 2 months into this, but it is something kind of fun to project. So there we are.
Yes.
And a quick reminder to use the code BASEBALL2026, 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. And it can be to any event out there. So make sure you go do that.
Love that.
Yep. All right. One of our community members actually brought up a really good point in the comments the other day. This is Michael Harrison, and he wrote that kind of surprised Tatis hasn't been a topic for you guys. I mean, if Shohei went even half the time of Tatis before hitting his first home run, the entire baseball world would be losing their minds. So, Michael, you're 100% right. How big a deal is it that Tatis is not putting up anything close to what he used to?
Rosie, I'm going to take you on a trip back to 2012. A young Swilly, that's me, was so excited to have a shiny new toy in her Angels lineup by the name of Albert Pujols. I don't know if you know the name or not.
Okay.
But I remember how talked about it was, how big of a deal it was that it took him 28 games before he hit his first home run with the Angels. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not saying they're on the same level. Okay, I'm not. But maybe Albert Pujols and Shohei might be on the same level in terms of stardom. That was a huge deal. I remember where I was when Albert Pujols finally hit his first home run as an Angel. It was the biggest deal. Oh, the lights just went off.
Just clap him.
No clapper.
Stand up. Come on, Swill.
There we go.
There you go.
Got it. I'm attached by the cord. Everything's fine. But yeah, so that was probably one of the biggest deals for me in 2012, back when I was a kid. So yeah, when I saw this comment, I was like, yeah, why are we not talking about it more? It gets sprinkled into conversation here and there. I see it every once in a while. Wow, Tatis still hasn't hit a home run yet. But this is a bigger deal, and I don't think it's getting talked about enough. Long story short.
I'll tell you why I don't think we do. Because I think we're uncomfortable with the conversation. And I think we don't like to say that all this is driven by his performance-enhancing test that was positive and his suspension that followed. And because people like to connect dots, and I personally don't unless I have proof that something happened. Meaning that we know that he tested positive. I don't care whether it was for ringworm or whatever. You're responsible for putting in your body what goes in your body, okay? Right. So you have to take that penalty. But am I comfortable enough saying that the only reason Fernando Tatis was any good prior to that and to earn that $340 million contract was because he took performance-enhancing drugs? Some people are. I'm not, and I will admit it makes me uncomfortable. Maybe people will be screaming like, hey, you're an idiot if you're not going to connect dots. I mean, what do you do? I think that's why some people are reluctant. And also, I loved Tatis's energy when he first came up.
Of course.
I don't know if you remember, but the day that he tagged up from third on a pop-up to second base in Pittsburgh, I think it was. I was like, holy shit. I've been watching baseball a long time. I have never seen that. And then he did it again. I was like, what is going on?
Right.
Like, how could he not be a showstopper and somebody you wanted to root for, and the swag and the energy and the style and everything about it? And then it came to a screeching halt.
Right.
Between didn't he have a motorcycle accident where you're like, being a knucklehead, but you're young, so I get it. Everybody's a knucklehead at that age. And then that came out, and you were like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so I just think that I've gone from this, I can't take my eyes off him, to I cringe every time I see him. And that's hard. It's hard as a baseball fan.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like you said, he was one of the most electric players in baseball for a few years. And I also don't really feel super comfortable having that conversation of, is it a coincidence? Is it not? But, you look at his baseball reference, 969 OPS, 937 OPS, 975 OPS, did not play, injury and PED suspension. 770 OPS, 833, 814, and now a 616 this year with no home runs. Again, it is definitely human nature for us to try to connect dots and find patterns. That's just how our brains work. But it's right there. And on top of all of it, too, the Padres could really use his help.
Oh, my God, yeah. It's amazing where they are in the standings. They have been horrible offensively.
It is
horrible.
It's nuts. They're like bottom 5 in all the big stats. Like, they could really use Tatis to just hit the ball a little bit harder and for some more extra bases.
Well, I mean, if you live and die by all the peripherals, his hard hit rate has been amazing all year. For a long time, I think he was tops in baseball. I think that has dipped over the last week or 10 days or so. But he's been somewhere between 1, 5, 7, whatever it is. Yeah. And so people can live with that. Hey, if you hit it this hard, at some point it's going to turn around. He's slugging 293.
It's tough.
Slugging 293. It's 502 in his career. When it was going well, he was a 60 to 70 extra base hit a guy during the season. Even last year, mid-50s, you can still live with that. He is on pace for fewer than 25 extra base hits this year. 25.
Tough.
Yeah.
Wow. That's tough. Yeah, I'm looking at his Savant right now, 58.6% hard hit rate, which is in the 98th percentile. So he's still hitting the ball hard.
Yeah. And by the way, we started this discussion thanks to Michael Harrison, who left us that comment. You know what I loved about it? It wasn't snarky. Right. It wasn't like, hey, you dumb MFers, why don't you ever bring... You know what it said? It said the truth, which was, I am in particular, because I create the questions for the most part on the show, I haven't done a good enough job bringing that topic up. And so, Michael, you did a great job. And by the way, our community, if you want us to talk about something, it doesn't have to be screaming at the top of your lungs and pounding your chest. It can be a great point like that, because I do try and go read the comments to see what you're thinking, because we're here to kind of cater to what you want, not to what we want. So sometimes I know we don't have time to talk about everybody, or sometimes we don't think things are as important as you do. But that's how we work together, Swill.
That's exactly right. We don't get to do this without you guys. So if you tell us what you want to see, we're gonna take a look at the comments, of course. Yeah, this was great. I'm happy that it got brought up. It's a little bit, like you said, an uncomfy conversation, but I think it's a good one. So
yeah, and it is, and maybe it's an uncomfortable conversation just because I know how I've had the privilege of being around the ballpark for 3 decades.
That's right.
And when you see how hard guys work to achieve their dream, and you don't know how they get from A to B all the time, I think it's easier to just say, well, it was just this little pill or this cream that made him a superstar. And I don't think it's as simple as that. But I could be wrong.
I think I agree with you.
So leave those comments for us. Let us know what's going on in your brain with this one, because it ain't easy. Yep. What is easy is my work, because I love it. Just like Swilly, we get to travel to stadiums all around the country. I know recently she went to Angel Stadium. She went up to San Francisco as well. Put out some great content that we loved. And you know what else we love? We love scanning the crowd and seeing our John Boy Media merch around. That reach It is powered by Shopify's fulfillment infrastructure. Products get to fans no matter where they are, right? You could be at Dodger Stadium. You could be at Angel Stadium. You could be up in San Francisco. You could be at a random Tuesday in Cincinnati. It doesn't matter. Shopify lets us get the gear everywhere. That is Shopify at work. When we design a product around a baseball moment, Shopify connects us directly to our manufacturers so orders flow out on time and land with fans wherever they are. There's no bottlenecks. There's no delays. And Shop Pay removes the friction at checkout, so the fan who finds the product actually follows through on the purchase. That combination of reach and conversion is what makes the whole thing work. Start your free trial at shopify.com/today. You'll be happy that you did. All right, quite the night in Boston.
Yeah.
Several different tentacles to this story. Which of these three was most interesting to you? That Zach Wheeler needed just 16 pitches to get the first 9 outs of the game, that Kyle Schwarber homered for the 5th straight game, or that some Red Sox fans showed up wearing paper bags over their heads?
I mean,
there's the picture. For those of you that are audio only, we're showing them behind the plate. Apparently, they were either asked to remove the bags or were asked to move because they were not there later, or maybe they were just too drunk and stumbled out of the stadium. I don't know.
man.
So, which of those three, Swill?
I mean, may I just say, it is so funny to me that the people under those paper bags have seen 4 World Series in this century. I'll say it. I don't care. I get it. Their front office and their team, they got a lot of stuff going on, but paper bags.
Do you know, by the way, you're not old enough to know this. Would you like to know the first time I saw fans with paper bags on their heads?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this goes back to like the 1980-ish New Orleans Saints, where the fans showed up. They were such a dormant franchise. They showed up and they called themselves the Aints. And they put bags on their head because they were like, we don't want our friends and family know that we're actually going to a Saints game.
Wow.
And they were horrific. Yes, they did not win 4 Super Bowls in a 17, 22, whatever year span it was, right? So, in fact, they hadn't won a playoff game at that point.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't even believe they had been to the playoffs in 1980. I have to go back and look. But that's the first time I saw it. And I was like, why do they have grocery bags on their head? Like, did they bring cantaloupe into the stadium?
Right. Surely.
My brother's like, no, you moron. They're fans and they're embarrassed. So that's the first time I saw it.
Wow. And that makes so much more sense. So much more sense. I mean, again, like I said, their front office, their team, their whole situation right now is certainly a roller coaster, but paper bags is crazy. I probably wouldn't say that was the most noteworthy to me, although you could pick any of these 3, and I think that they're all good answers. I think that throwing 16 pitches to get 9 outs is nuts. That's crazy. You know that Kyle Schwarber is going to go and hit home runs for you. 5 in a row, like you said, which is awesome. I think that ties a Phillies record, 5 in a row.
Okay.
I heard that on the broadcast. So that's cool. We love that. We'll see. Maybe he, breaks the record tonight. But 16 pitches to get 9 outs is crazy. I think that's my number one.
Oh, to me, it's not even close.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, the Schwarber stuff, he's become so good at this home run thing where I'm like, yeah, cool. 5 straight. Keep doing it. It's just they are majestic. And let's remember, he did play there as well. So he's got a little bit of a fan base still up there in the Boston area. Here's the deal. Number one, you're right about the 16. I had to read it like 5 times to make sure that I wasn't drunk on the flight or something. I could not understand that that's what happened. And we're showing all 16 pitches through 3 innings.
Right. Because we can. Because it's so short.
Yeah. And well, he did it without a strikeout. So you have to get some help from the hitters swinging early in the counts. You have to get some help from your defense. You have to hope that it's hit right at somebody, the whole bit. But I remember seeing a Bartolo Colon early in his career in Cleveland. I think that Ricky Gutierrez had like a 21 pitch at bat against him.
That's nuts.
Something like that. And so it made me rekindle those memories a little bit.
Yeah.
21 pitch at bat as opposed to 16 through 3 innings.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like you said, I think you have to have a little bit of help from the offense to make that happen. The Red Sox do not like to look at a lot of pitches. They're 28th in the league right now in pitches seen per at bat, which is not very good. And yeah, like you said, doing it all without a strikeout, pretty impressive. Kind of seems like the perfect storm, but that's just kind of baseball. And that's baseball. And that's why I love baseball. 16 pitches, 9 outs is crazy.
And to circle back with the paper bag on the head thing for Boston, Swilly made a great point about the 4 World Series since 2004. Right now, they are in it like they haven't been in quite a while. They have had a 10-game home stretch where they have scored an average of less than 2 runs per game. The last time that happened during any 10-game home stretch was 5 years after the Titanic went bye-bye. 1917.
Oh my God.
Don't say anything. I was not at that game.
That's a crazy stat since the Titanic went down. That's crazy. Wow. Baseball.
There you go.
Baseball.
All right. We got more shows still to go. But first, Trevor Plouffe, an appearance.
Baseball is here, people. The days are getting longer. The sun is back out, and baseball season is finally upon us. Baseball is a game of inches. The result of a game hinges on 1,000 little moments, and momentum can shift quickly. That's why we decided to team up with Fanatics Markets, the trusted home for real-time sports prediction markets. It's simple. Just pick a game and choose an outcome, like which team will win, which player will hit a home run, and more. It's time to get involved in the action. Then buy contracts based on what you think will happen. Yes, if you think it will. No, if you don't. You can buy as many as you want, sell if the price moves in your favor, or let them settle when the event ends. So from opening day to the Fall Classic, no matter who you root for, Fanatics Markets is right there with you. Join the Baseball Today family on Fanatics Markets. Event contracts carry risk of total loss and changing prices. Not good for all investors. Not available in all states. Must be 21 plus. See important disclosures in Fanatics Markets app. Customers are introduced to Crypto.com by Paragon Global Markets, LLC. DBA Fanatics Markets IB, an introducing broker registered with the CFTC and a member of the NFA.
Plouffe, thank you. Swilly keeps killing it like she has today. Somebody's going to be relegated to ad read status.
Don't say that to me. Don't say that.
Just saying. Okay. Couple notes, and we're going to blow through these pretty quickly. Shane McClanahan, 5 more shutout innings. Rays, they end up taking Toronto. They have now won 16 of 18. I've talked a lot about Tampa over the last week. When do you officially buy in on them?
I think just because of the status of the rest of the American League, I think I'm buying a little bit of stock, but I think there's still some things that I don't quite believe in, that this is the starting pitching going to sustain the way that it is, and they are not really slugging the ball very much. Obviously, the starting pitching has been good, but does it sustain? That's kind of what I mean, and the slug has been not great. I will say, though, 29.5% chance to make the playoffs at the beginning of the season, and now it's at 84.3%, which is pretty good. So I'm buying some stock, but hesitantly.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
How about you?
I answered that question yesterday. We talked a lot about him the last several shows. Bailey Ober threw the Twins' first Maddox in 9 years, needed just 89 pitches to take care of Miami. How big a deal is a Maddox to you?
This maybe is a hot take, but I think they're so sick, and I love that happened. I think, even if it is the Twins, sorry, Trev, I think you look at something like that and you take it for what it is. First time in 9 years, pretty cool. I'd be excited about it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's sick. 9 years is a long time.
I'm fascinated by Bailey Ober because he crushes my Guardians every time, and then the rest of the league has really figured him out. But that obviously did not happen. 7 strikeouts last night. In each of his previous 3 starts, he didn't get more than 3 strikeouts.
Okay.
Do you know why? Because his fastball velo has Jamie Moyer even saying, dude, can you speed things up a little bit? It's 88. Like Dan Heron's Twitter handle for the longest time was like, I threw 88 or something.
That
was at the end of his career.
That's
and Bailey Ober's kind of in the middle of his career. The fact that he's getting major league hitters out and throwing an 89 pitch shutout with 88 is awesome.
Yeah,
That's great. Really
Baseball.
cool. Good.
Yeah.
Nice homecoming for Dalen Lyle of the Washington Nationals. Grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, which is a little bit more than a stone's throw from Cincinnati, but this is his adopted big league ballpark, if you will. He hit not one, but 2 homers last night, and it was in front of family and friends, 70 deep. How cool is that?
I mean, 70 friends and family is awesome. That's so sick. And these 2 home runs that he hit, they were not like little dinky-doo home runs. 415 feet and 429. So, yeah, pretty cool. Nothing really gives me goosebumps quite like seeing family and friends cheering for a ball player in the crowd. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and mom and dad were there. Alexa Dat, who is now the sideline reporter for the Nationals, went up and talked to him. It was a great interview. They were having the time of their lives. And he talked about it on the field afterward, how much it meant to him. We talk about that the journey, we just get to see it for 3 hours a day as baseball fans.
That's right.
You know, the number of hours that are poured into this by all facets of your family and your friend group to get you to this point. It's pretty remarkable. So for everybody to sit there and enjoy it, pretty dang cool. Finally, tough luck for the Tigers' Colt Keith. Not sure if you saw this up at Citi Field. He's trying to get to third. He gets in, slides in safely. Ball gets past Beatty, but Freddie Peralta's backing it up, and Colt Keith is out. And we're like, oh, that was interesting. So what happened? He ran in right into the umpire, Rob Drake, who took a header on the spill and slowed Keith down, preventing him from scoring. Do you feel worse for the base runner or the umpire?
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I'm laughing so much, but that's this crazy clip. And at the end, he's just laying down and he looks back and it's a whole thing. Look, here's the thing. Colt Keith is going to be fine. He probably woke up this morning. He's going to be fine. It's baseball. He flushes it. You move on and it's good. Drake might be hurting a little bit this morning, and he fell on his butt and landed on his head a little bit, and I think he was maybe a little embarrassed. So I think I feel a little bit worse for Rob Drake.
That's a tough spill, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Rob Drake is 56 years old. Ouch.
Yeah, not great.
He's been umpiring. He's been umpiring. This is his 27th season.
Wow.
Tough guy, born in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Anytime you've got 2 states in the name of the place where you were born, you're tough.
Yeah, tough guy. He'll be fine, but he might be a little bruised this morning.
Now, my guess is that the other umpires, after they check on him and realize like he doesn't have a concussion and nothing's broken and stuff, they got to be killing him for that, right?
Without a doubt. They're probably going to grill him about this for a very long time, without a doubt. Colt Keith, he'll be fine. He probably already forgot about it.
If you're now the umpires have their own clubby that takes care of them as well. Mm-hmm. If you have a good relationship with him, you leave him something like a fun little ice pack or, do something creative.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta keep it light. It's a long season. I know we love to crush umpires, but you got to remember, like, they don't have home games. They're on the road a ton. It can be a very lonely lifestyle for them. So when that stuff happens, I hope Rob Drake comes out, even if he's working the bases.
Yeah.
In full protective gear today.
Oh my gosh, stop. That would be so funny.
That would be funny if he did that when they meet all the players.
Please, I need that to happen. Rob, if you're listening.
Danny, run that tape one more time. I want to see it real quick. So there he is. Okay, so he was doing third, so he'll be at second tonight.
Yeah. That is brutal stuff.
Yeah. I just had to make sure none of the umpires had switched positions. Sometimes they rotate around, but that wouldn't have happened there. Okay. It would be a great skit if he showed up in full gear.
If you're listening, Rob Drake, please. We need it.
God, I would love that. I would love that if that happened. I'll have to see who else is on that umpire crew, see if we got funny ones or not.
There you go.
Swill, you crushed it. I don't know what to say other than you were fantastic as expected. I hope you had fun today.
Yeah, of course I did. Like I said, 14-year-old me is like screaming inside, and that was great. You're the GOAT. So yeah, I had a great time, and hopefully
You're very sweet.
Well,
You're very sweet. And I do appreciate what people are. I hear that from a lot of ball players. Like, I grew up watching you and stuff like that. And at first I was like, God, makes me feel old. But I appreciate it because we have so much, we have so many choices, and, there's so much content out there and things like that. The fact that people actually take the time to listen to some of the crap that comes out of my mouth is very rewarding.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
And I mean, it was like that for years. You, me, and Kevin Millar, we were all hanging out every day. So that was my life for a long time. So
were you like most people and couldn't understand what he was saying most of the time?
There were a few times where I just kind of let things slid, and I don't know. It's fine. We just keep moving on.
Yeah, that's kind of it. I think I'm the only one that really, really speaks Millarese.
Right.
I can understand it.
Right.
I hear it, and I'm like, I got it. I think I got it.
I got it, but nobody else did.
All right. We are back at it again tomorrow when Dalton Feely will be in that chair. Swill, as I mentioned, you crushed it. Everybody leave a comment because we want her to come back and keep doing your thing. Your content is phenomenal, and we are a lucky media machine to have you around.
Well,
So
that means a
keep doing your
lot to
thing.
me, Chris Rose. Thank you. I appreciate it.
For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Swilly, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Thursday with Dalton Feely here on Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.